All right, it's time for another update on the Porsche. A lot of people are really excited about the Porsche. I'm kind of blown away at how many people are really excited about this car. I mean, I'm excited about it. I know I kind of said I'm not going to work on it for a while. It's kind of pushed it off in the corner. I just kind of wanted one for a long time, but everybody that has seen it is stoked for me or stoked about the car. And I've had a ton of people with ideas and input. Some of them are great. Some of them are ridiculous. But I mean, I love it because the car is kind of ratty enough that whatever we do to it will be fun. And I'm also still not going to dive right into it, but I'm going to give you a little bit of update. First of all, I'm getting it off the trailer. Second of all, I had to drain all the fuel out of it. The old fuel tank stunk, had really bad old gas in it. Put a fuel pump on some hose and hooked it up to a battery and pumped all the old gas out, as you can see. And now the next thing is to get it off the trailer, get it into the shop, get it up on jack stands, and get some new tires under it. I got some really cool tires that I'm going to get mounted up just so that I can move it around. Because right now the old tires are really cool looking. They're like these cool Goodyears, but they're ancient and dry rotted, and they have inner tubes and they don't hold air. So got some new tires to put on those same wheels. I'm not getting rid of the wheels. I think the wheels are really cool. And then we're going to really dive into the engine and figure out if it will even turn by hand. So that's kind of the next step. But for right now, let's try and get this thing off the trailer. That went about as good as I thought it could. Ran into a rubber garbage can, but we didn't beat it up, so now the car is off the trailer. And it didn't kill me. I got the Porsche onto some like wheel dollies. I jacked it up and put them underneath the back so that I can kind of move the thing around. Here's the thing. From what I understand, I'm not a Porsche expert. I just have one and like it. You're supposed to jack these things up from like under the rocker panel, right at like the back of the door. The rocker panels on this, especially on the passenger side, are really bad. So I put the floor jack under the engine and jacked the whole back of the car up by the engine. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but that's what I did. And it lifted the car up, and I got the wheel dollies under it, and I set it back down really fast because this is a Porsche 911 engine, and from what everybody tells me, they're made out of gold and titanium and probably uranium and probably all types of other amazing things that make them very, very expensive. And I just used it to lift the whole car up. So, but I'm gonna write that off as inexperience, and now the thing is on dollies so I can roll it in to the corner here. And which brings up the next question. Do I roll it into the corner with the front facing me, or do I try to spin it around and roll it into the corner with the back facing me, because the back is where the engine is? You'll find out the next time there's an update on the Porsche, because for now, I'm just gonna get it in the corner. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm really excited about this car. It's a kind of a pile, but it's gonna be a fun project. Keep the comments coming. Keep sending me messages about it. I think it's really fun, and it's really exciting for me because like I'm a truck guy, I'm a Jeep guy, not a car. This is literally the third two-wheel drive automobile vehicle that I've ever owned. Maybe the fourth, if you count the Dodge Town Wagon. First car I've ever owned, Dodge Aries K car. My mom and dad bought that for me when I got out of school, and I was like a stupid kid, and I was like, Dad, I don't need this car, I need a truck. He was like, well, you can have this car, you can have nothing at all. And I was like, thanks, I really like it. And I drove that car a lot. The Dodge Aries K car, the car that saved Chrysler. And then on Early Dirt Every Day, probably episode 40 or 50 something, Dave and I built the Roadrunner, the Mad Maxus off-road runner, which was my second two-wheel drive car that I ever bought. And we actually turned it into a four-wheel drive. And then I bought this Dodge Town Wagon, the orange one that I had, and I actually have already sold that, sent it down the road. So this is only my third or fourth car I've ever owned. I've owned lots of Jeeps and trucks, never owned a car. So I think I did pretty good. I went from a Dodge Aries K car to a Porsche. Winning, even though it's this one. All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.